24 hours of your application, because online applications will also be accepted. Now, to get our young people employable, because many finish school and they can't get jobs because wanaambiwa hauna kitambulisho, hauna document, hauna nini. All youth who turn 17, and they're in our schools, when you turn 17, through using the teaching system and the headmaster and the deputy headmaster, they will have the identity card, PIN, passport, NHIF, and NSSF documents lodged and processed. So a young person, you're in school, you turn 17, you will fill the forms, application of passport, application of ID, application of NHIF, all those forms you will fill them. They will go for processing. And the day you turn 18, within a month you turn 18, they will be brought to you as 18-year-old. Within a month of turning 18, you'll have your ID, your passport, your NHIF, your documents to allow you to transition very quickly into the workplace as soon as you leave school. This takes us to pillar number 3, manufacturing. Industrialization is a key aspect in the growth of any country for economic development and for providing employment. Kenya imports manufactured commodities made from overseas, which we can produce locally and distribute to the rest of the world. This manifesto proposes that we are going to put a factory in every constituency. If you go to China today, they have a factory in every village. Why is it that everything you look at is made in China? Even the reporters in front of me, I even thought this gentleman is Chinese. His shoes are made in China, his trousers are made in China, his shirt is made in China, kofia yake imetengenezwa China, hata underwear anajua imeandikwa made in China. Everything we wear is made in China. Why? The pens we are using, the cameras we are using, everything, the microphones, made in China. China decided they are going to produce for the world. There is enough market not only in Kenya and East Africa, but even in Africa, so that Kenya can now produce everything for everywhere. Let people in Malawi, in Uganda, in Zambia, in Lagos, Nigeria, wear shoes, wear underwear, wear vest, wear kofia, use pens written made in Kenya. And we're going to do this by setting up, 1, special economic zones in all counties. We identify unique strengths of each county and we set them up. This is how we do it. When you set up a special zone, we are going to invest in business factory infrastructure. You set up an area, you do the roads of that area, you dig water, you bring power, you wake up warehouses, so that an investor can come and plug and play. An investor will come and plug and play, and the government itself, and nimfanya mahesabu, by putting 250 million per year, billion per year, will be able to set up their own small factories to start employing people, so that Kenya can now manufacture for the rest of the country. The government will therefore invest in these factories within business parks to create employment and encourage investors. Kenya has the capacity of producing goods for sale in all African nations. Kenya will be the manufacturing hub of Africa. This will generate directly and indirectly to 2 million jobs within 2 years. Immediately, very simple. Set them up, employ people, start manufacturing, the market will reveal itself. B, we'll revive stalled factories within the first 6 months of taking over. A business audit will be done with the objective of conducting an evaluation and coming up with an action plan for the revival and reopening of stalled factories in a chap-chap manner. In manufacturing, my government will give a 3-year tax relief for all new factories set up in Kenya. This will encourage foreign direct investment in Kenya and also encourage local investors to go into manufacturing. The future is manufacturing. Wacha tutengenezee ulimwengu socks. Pillar number 4. This I consider very close to my heart. Universal free healthcare for all Kenyans. In Machakos, we have successfully implemented universal healthcare. When we were in that program, and even now, we're able to go the extra mile and say to Kenyans in Machakos, and today it's implementable. From birth, maternity to mortuary, it is free of charge. In Machakos today, you can get brain surgery performed on you, you can be in the ward for 1 year, you can go to theater, you can be treated for any disease. It is 100% free. Now, how are we going to do this? Bearing in mind that healthcare is devolved, and funds are already provided by the SECA for the day-to-day running, a Chap Mutua government will, one, provide grants to all counties to upgrade health facilities and equipment, focusing on preventive and cure detection of diseases. Dispensaries and health centers will be revamped so that we have as minimum standard set up across the country as we broaden the base. It is not just about the rich. Si mambo ati ukiugua unaenda India, hapana, hii ni ya wananchi. We are broadening the base. Everybody to benefit. This will be completed within 1 year of my government. The national government, my national government, will provide an additional 1 billion to 1.5 billion annual funding based on population to each county. This will come to about 65 billion shillings. It is possible within the government structure we have today in the budget to just allocate 65 to 70 billion to counties for universal health care so they do not charge, so that they can buy their medicines for free, buy their items because they're already taking care of their doctors, and it will make it very, very affordable, especially by supplementing NHIF. Healthcare is a right. It is not a privilege. And it is not only for the few who can afford it. We are going to fund medical research centers. The government will set up a fund to provide competitive research monies to universities and research facilities, to our experts to undertake medical research, from treatment methods to development of new medicines and vaccines. Hataki kungojea vaccine kutoka nje. We don't know which other COVID will come around. Let us make our own vaccines here by giving money to investors. And these investors will be giving money to our medical practitioners and our researchers and our professors so that now they can do research. So the government will fund directly. And this fund will be assisting not only the researchers in medical care, but also in other innovation, because we also need to build our own telescopes and a few things to support this. Another area that is very dear to my heart in health is about cancer. Today, when a Kenyan is sick from cancer, tunamwambia Mungu. Tunasema tulikupenda sana. Anaingia ndege, anaenda India, kama anaweza, ama anaenda Amerika, anaenda South Africa, kama anaweza. Wala hawezi, wanakufia hapa nyumbani, tunasema tulikupenda, lakini Mungu alikupenda zaidi. Kwani Mungu anapenda maskini zaidi kuliko matajiri? Maskini akipata cancer ameenda. Tajiri anapewa extension. We want to broaden the base for all Kenyans, so that whether you get cancer or not, if you get cancer, you know you can get treatment. How? In Machakos, we were able to build a Machakos Cancer Care Center, where we treat our people up to chemotherapy, free of charge. You get cancer today in Machakos, you can go, or you think you have cancer, you'll go to Machakos, you'll be tested, they'll do biopsies, and they'll be able to treat you and keep you alive, just like they're treating that rich person who went to India, South Africa, or America. And we're expanding. Therefore, my government will require and set up cancer centers in all counties and encourage county governments to do the same, as we have done. So we'll set them up, and these centers will also have research components and an exchange program of experts from all over the world. We're on number 5, which is halfway through our pillars. Pillar number 5, security. Every person in Kenya should be able to move, travel, rest, and otherwise congregate in a safe environment 24 hours a day. So what are we going to do? For fighting crime, 1, we are going to look into police welfare. Police officers' packages and salaries will be reviewed upwards comparative to international standards. A police security officer should be within the middle-class economic strata and above the lowest paid police officer and above. Therefore, the lowest paid police officer in Kenya under my government will receive a minimum basic salary, before adding other things, basic salary of 50,000 shillings. Police officers will also be able to get a housing purchase scheme immediately at the same rate given to members of parliament, governors, presidents, MCAs of less than 3%. It's a shame. A governor is given 1 to 3%, an MCA is given what? 1 to 3%, MP is given 3%, na ule mtu anamchunga analipa 15-20%. So we will start with that one. Even as we roll the 0.5 to 2% mortgage rate, they will be able to use their salaries and get it automatically from the government, their rates at minimum or maximum of 3%. All police officers will also receive full medical cover for themselves, spouse, and 4 children. Police equipment and safety. We will ensure that each officer, we are going to modernize our police officers. Umeona polisi wetu yule anatembea? Amebeba bunduki namna hii, amechoka, nguo ziko hivi, wakati risasi inapigwa na dive. We are going to equip our police officers, we can afford it, so that each police officer will have a bulletproof vest, will have a walkie-talkie, will have their gun, will have their video camera, just like they do other countries. We'll be able to communicate, call for help. We'll be able to tell people what they're doing. We'll have the bulletproof vest to save their lives from the bullets, from the criminals. We're going to ensure that police operations are fully funded. Hii mambo ya kusema ati gari ya polisi imeisha mafuta. How does the gari ya polisi imeisha mafuta in a country that is 60 years free from colonial imperialism? We're going to make sure there's enough money for that. We are going also to have increasing of security numbers. Currently in the world, as we shift up, we find that the ratio that is in developed nations is 1 to 450 people. I want to commend the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. It has brought down the levels to 1 to 600 people. We want to bring it to the same rate as it is in the US and other countries of 1 to 150 by hiring more police officers and creating jobs. We're also going to have police stations and posts will be distributed widely to ensure efficient, timely response of police and also engage 119 community policing programs. It is also important, if you look at statistics, they tell you that majority of crimes are committed by people who are reoffending. Ule criminal anaiba leo utakuta kwamba alikuwa amefungwa jela. So we're going to start a technological system of tracking criminals who are released from jail, so that we know what they are up to and we can follow them and we know where to find them in case of any criminal activity. We stop crime before it happens. Watchmen and watchwomen, soldier, askari wa mlango, we want them to give them basic pay, good pay. So we are proposing in my proposal, in my manifesto, that a watchman will receive the lowest amount of money a watchman will be paid will be 20,000 shillings per month. Therefore, they're not corruptible. They can be able to do their work and collaborate with the police to take care of our neighborhoods and our offices. They'll also be paid for overtime if they work overtime, and they'll all be vetted. All security guards will all be vetted and given a specific training, even by the employers, that will be guided by the government so they can be able to help the police. And finally, in this section, CCTV cameras, closed-circuit CCTV cameras will be installed nationwide, and neighborhoods and businesses will be mandated by law to have CCTV cameras within and outside their premises. Pillar number 6, integrity and accountability, fighting corruption. To increase integrity and accountability in Kenya, I will effectively deal with corruption because the country does not need any new systems. We don't need to add any things. We just need to enforce. And this is how we are going to do it. 1, we are going to eliminate processes and bureaucracy that bring about corruption. We are going to cut down government service provision procedures by 75%. Financial systems will be altered to ensure speedy completion of payments. For instance, today, many payments are long. Unalete voucher, ulete sijui nini, receiving nini. 34 documents are filled, many of them, before somebody can be paid. All these documents become ATMs for withdrawal by government officials. We're going to make it simple. 1, 2, 3 stage, unalete vitu yako, 2, 3, unalipwa. Hii back and back tuachana, wacha EACC ifanye kazi yake. Kama mtu alikula pesa, fuata yeye. Lakini umelete invoice, inalipwa 2 stages, umelipwa. Hakuna 10 stages, sijui inaenda pooling, inaenda sijui wapi, inaenda IFMIS, inafungiwa hapo, inarudi tena, inazungushwa tena, inawekwa brake, inaongezwa gear, inawekwa speed, inafungiwa kidogo. We cut out all that. We want to broaden the base. You do your work, you are paid chap by the government. Number 2, we'll fund the judiciary effectively. And this is very important. We'll fund the judiciary effectively and collaborate with the Chief Justice for the establishment of many courts nationally dedicated to corruption cases. So that these corruption courts will only be dealing with corruption cases and we make sure there are very many, only with corruption cases. Kutoka asubuhi mpaka usiku, corruption cases. Because we want speedy completion of the cases. My government will support the Chief Justice to implement new court rules, such as having corruption cases, that is from taking plea, umewekwa pingu, uko hapo unafanya namna hii. Umewekwa pingu, umepelekwa hapo unafanya namna hii. Una plea, guilty, not guilty. From the time you take plea to the time a ruling is made, it should not take more than 6 months. Because for us politicians, when we run